There are many people who are saying, why you Christians, you followers of Jesus, why are you fussing so much about necessity to follow Jesus? Isn't it really enough that people are doing good, that they're kind and gentle, that they're fine people, regardless of what they believe or who they believe, or whether they believe in anything at all? I'm hearing this question in many forms nowadays, coming through social media, through many debates about following Jesus, being a Christian, or being an atheist. And I believe that those debates are really missing the point, because the question is not about who is doing good and who is not good, because it is true that there are many people who do live still in the atmosphere of what I would like to call Christian morality, and they do live decent lives, and there are people who are helping and they're concerned about the well-being of other people. But this is not the point. The point has to do with the claims of Jesus, which are unique, completely different from any other religious, spiritual claims uttered by anyone. He said repeatedly, read the Gospel of John, I am the truth, I am the way, I am the life. No one is coming to the Father except through me. And one either takes those claims seriously, or we really have to say that they were spoken by a madman. C.S. Lewis said it very nicely. He said there is a huge difference between living in genuine, honest ignorance and pretending to be ignorant about the claims of Jesus. We have to admit that there are people who, due to whatever reasons, maybe cultural, maybe we as Christians are not providing a proper witness and are actually misleading them instead of leading them to Christ. There can be many reasons why some people, many people still, cannot really find Jesus. I'm thinking of people living in the countries where any expression of faith is oppressed, except maybe that one that is legislated by the governments and the leaders, political and religious leaders. I'm thinking of the people who are illiterate. They cannot read. They cannot really understand the Word of God. They don't have it accessible to them. And the only thing what they hear about Christians and about Jesus are actually derogative things. How on earth they could build up a good and positive picture that would lead them to a decision to follow Jesus? So back to C.S. Lewis. He said there is a huge difference between those who are genuinely living in ignorance as far as the claims of Jesus are concerned and those who are pretending. He gave an illustration or two, and I'm paraphrasing them because I don't have a book here in front of me. I'm in the park doing my morning walk and reflecting and thinking. He said there is a difference in a situation when a person is in the room and telephone is ringing and he does not hear the telephone ringing. So he is not responding to the call. He is not picking up the receiver. And if he does hear telephone ringing, and for reason of some uncomfortability or fear, he's not picking up the receiver because he does not want to hear what his voice on the other side is going to say. He also said there is a huge difference between a person walking down the road or a pathway and suddenly crossing the road to the other side, because at that moment of time there was someone coming towards him and he did not want to meet that person that he otherwise knows very well, or whether it just happened that he crossed the road without any idea that this person is coming to him. He also gave an illustration about a doctor and patients. He said there is a difference for us, certainly, if we do not want to go and visit the doctor because we fear that what he's going to tell us is something we don't want to hear, and therefore we are not given a chance to be healed, or whether even we suffer in our sickness, but we really do not know we are not doing well. In his last book, Narnian book, written for children but really soaked deeply in theology, The Last Battle, C.S. Lewis is telling us about a man, a general, that served in a pagan army, and he was worshipping and following a false pagan god, almost a demon god, Tash. And in the context of this last battle, he ends up on the other side, and instead of meeting his god Tash, that he was so much longing to see, he meets Aslan, who is a picture of Jesus. And he's terrified. And he doesn't know what to make out of this. And he thinks this is the end of him. And he says to Aslan, is it really true what some people are saying, that you and Tash are actually the same God, that we have been all worshipping the same God? And Aslan roars, saying basically, no way, this is an insult. Your people have not been serving the same God as my people. You lived in ignorance, but you lived the life as if you are serving me, and I have accepted your service to your false god Tash as if it were given to me. What C.S. Lewis is saying here is that there are circumstances, there are people who do not know Jesus Christ, and they are saved because whatever faith, whatever the light they had, they took it seriously and they lived according to it, honorably. And Jesus has accepted that as a sign of their faith. And yet we have to say it very plainly. It was not because they were Buddhists or Hindus or Muslims or I don't know what else, New Agers of this or that kind, that this was what made them to come into salvation, but it was Jesus by the same means of grace applied to anyone who knows him. And yet C.S. Lewis goes on, he says, we who do know Christ, we cannot play ignorance. We're in a completely different boat. We cannot pretend we don't know. We don't have that choice, because the moment we ask a question, is it true that I really have to follow Jesus? This question testifies against us that actually we are trying to manipulate with the voice of the Holy Spirit and try to find a way out. There is only one way to heaven, and that's the way through Jesus Christ. And that's Jesus Christ. He said, I am the truth, I am the way, and I am the light. There is no other way to the Father except through Jesus. And we who know him, we who have been challenged by him, we are not given a luxury to pretend we don't know him and then say to ourselves, if those other people will be saved, then I don't need to follow Jesus. May God will that everyone will eventually come to the full knowledge of Jesus Christ. It is the claims of Jesus that at the end of the day make difference in the matters of our salvation. And we are not given a luxury to dodge them.